Hello, this is Matt on the Moon Lambeau channel. XRP was just about the best performer of all cryptos during the last bull run, when in late 2017, in a matter of about 2.5 weeks, XRP ran from 20-something cents up to almost $4. And so in terms of percentage gains over the time period from, just call it early January 2017 to 12 months later, the percentage increase, I mean, gosh, it was something like 70 or 80,000%. I'd have to go back and look to get the specifics, but it was just something insane like that. And a lot of that had to do with the fact that XRP was consolidating, just trading sideways for a longer period of time. And it's just a matter of fact that well, unless something's going to go to zero, the longer something trades sideways, the greater the burst is going to be. Or at least for XRP, historically, that has certainly been the case. And all sorts of chart analysts I've highlighted on this channel have been effectively communicating that, including Leb Crypto, Incredible Crypto, and many others here. And so my opinion is that people that sleep on XRP are going to get absolutely wrecked. They're just they're going to regret it, because actually I should say this first. I want to be clear. I don't have a financial background of any kind, and I'm not offering financial advice. And so you should not buy or sell anything because of anything I say or write. I'm just an enthusiast who enjoys making YouTube videos as a hobby. So happy to share my opinion, but that is all that it is. There's definitely nothing special about me here. But I firmly believe, especially just looking at historically how crypto markets have behaved, the market moves in tandem, but those cryptos that consolidate trades, which meaning trade sideways longer, they have the greatest impulses when they finally do pop. And so I want to talk about that because there's some targets here that a few chart analysts are saying to look for, and we're pretty much at them. So if indeed resistance becomes support, it could be an indicator that we're in the coming days and weeks perhaps going to see some serious fireworks. And also there's this question of how long is this market cycle going to last? I've got an article from the Daily Hodl that talks about this, and it could potentially last a bit longer than what many analysts think is likely. So we shall see. As I record this, XRP is at 56.6 cents. Bitcoin is at $54,830. Market cap for the asset class, $1.7 trillion. And Bitcoin dominance at 59.64%. Now, chart analyst Credible Crypto, who amazingly is now up to 141,000 followers. Wow. I tell you, I don't see that many people's Twitter handles like blow up as quickly as Credible Crypto's had. And I would just say it's well deserved. I think people have taken notice that he's contributing in a meaningful way, and he talks about XRP a fair bit, but not just XRP. So there's people from all walks of crypto that really value his insight as far as expectations on the charts for various cryptocurrencies. But here's what he had to say about XRP recently, and this is interesting, again, considering, as I just cited a second ago, XRP is at 56.6 cents. Incredible Crypto wrote the following. In the quoted tweet below, I stated that we are at a resistance. I have marked off that resistance level here in red. Note that we ended up rejecting off of it, but now we have bounced back and are attacking it again. I'm quite hopeful that we will break it soon. Now that tweet, I think it was like 20 hours ago or something. It was a while back. Yeah, it was some time ago. Not a full 24 hours. Maybe it was around 20 hours or so, whatever it was. And so since then, we actually have climbed up above that mark. And you can see, so I'll just, for a second, full screen this here. This is the chart that he had right here. And so this little red bar, this is the level that he's talking about, but he's not the only one. So this bar, it represents, I'll just ballpark it, roughly 55 to 56 cent range. And you can see he's indicated here with this little green squiggle that from there, he's anticipating that means that if we break this level, it is time to go up, because we've been range bound for some time. So that's something that he's been saying to look for. And he's not the only one. So look at here. This is a tweet from Blockchain Backer. And I remember seeing, or hearing rather, some comments from him in a recent video just in the last, few days or so. I remember him saying the 55 cent level is a level to watch for. That's a level of resistance. And so if you go past that, let's just see what the hell happens. And so it is an important one. And so earlier today, he tweeted out, XRP back above 57 cents, and then he's got the little, oh my gosh, amaze face. Technically, I think that's a scared ghost face, but I don't use it. Who uses it for that? It looks like, oh my god, I can't believe it face. above 57 cents. So it is good to see it there. Now, if it stays above that, that's the trick though. If it does, then maybe we'll finally break out of consolidation, which is why I wanted to highlight that. And then you've got Rakesh Upadhyay, who writes for Cointelegraph, and he said, hey, look, if we can get to, if the bulls can drive the price of XRP above 60 cents, 78 cents could be in the cards here. That's a chunk. I don't want to read this whole thing. It's on your screen, but that's effectively what he's indicating. If we can actually break that level of resistance, you're looking at 78 cents. And the interesting thing is, so there would be resistance at that level, because that's another level I keep talking about, because the analysts are talking about it. 78, 80 cents, 82 cents, whatever the analysts say. They disagree a little bit, but within a very small range. So let's just call it 80 cents. Even though that's a level of resistance, if it goes past that, that's what so many analysts are saying. If you can actually hit that, that's what's going to push XRP ultimately above $1. So that's something to watch for. Now, as far as Bitcoin, he was tweeting out, or he's asked about, shoot, where is it? I think this is where I wanted to jump in. So a few days ago, somebody tweeted to Incredible Crypto and wrote, could it be that we stall somewhere between $48,000 to $52,000 for Bitcoin, that level, and complete a leg up on alts first before the deeper move down, you think, or just going for the kill this week, for instance? And again, this is March 23rd. Incredible Crypto wrote, it's possible, but if bearish, not expecting more than a dead cat across the board. So he's talking about a dead cat bounce, which is a messed up term that chart analysts use. I don't remember exactly how it came to be. I think I read that story too, but it just indicates on a chart when something is dropping down precipitously, down very, very quickly, it'll hit a certain level where it'll bounce off of support a bit, but then still continue back to the downside. So it doesn't mean that the negative trend is over. You get this bounce where it's like some people might think, oh my gosh, we're back into bull mode, but it's kind of like a fake out more or less than that it continues to the downside. So somebody responded to that and wrote, do you think this was a dead cat? And so this was today. This was just 13 hours ago. And then this person wrote, everything is green. And today it is green, by the way, by and large. But I'm not really seeing that enthusiastic consent from Bitcoin to be bullish yet. Are we still likely to go sub $50,000 for Bitcoin? Incredible Crypto wrote, we still need to clear a key resistance level we are up against right now. So, and he did mention even yesterday, and he hasn't really changed his perspective. He thinks it's more likely that things are going to go to the positive. So he said he leans bullish, but he still needs to clear key resistance. So from his perspective, not completely out of the woods yet. There are a lot of other analysts that are, I guess I'd say, seemingly more bullish than crypto and Bitcoin in the short term. And again, Incredible Crypto, I don't want to misrepresent what he's saying. He's bullish for it in the short term. But for instance, Michael Vandepop, who has 170,000 followers now, wrote, and just like that, Bitcoin is most likely bottomed out and the options expiry FUD fades away. And as far as the expiry FUD, I saw people talking about that. I think it had something to do with futures contracts, which I didn't read into because I don't care about that particular narrative, but I believe that's what he's talking about there. Regardless, he's saying that Bitcoin looks like more likely than not has bottomed out. And he also wrote the following. I like this. He wrote, if you're inexperienced about trading Bitcoin, you should consider just buying a tiny portion of your monthly income into Bitcoin as a savings instrument and just leave it there. You'll still outperform 99% of the markets. Yeah, and so to me that doesn't sound wacky because there are so many people that have the backgrounds career-wise in finance, and even they are saying anywhere from 1 to 3 to 5%, something like that, investing just that much of your net worth or available funds into crypto can be worth it because it's small enough in that range that if you lose it all, it's not going to devastate. It shouldn't devastate anybody, right? But crypto performs so asymmetrically compared to any other asset class that it could really ramp up in terms of your gains. Like I wish I had the data pulled up here. I just thought about this, but I saw something indicating that this was within the last few months that if you just put 1% in into your portfolio, like say you were just invested 100% just in stocks, and so maybe the average return, whether it's 7 or 8%. I remember seeing if you just put 1% of your net worth into crypto over it may have been the last decade. I'd have to go back and look for what I'm thinking of here, but you'll get the cut of my jib here. Even if you just put in 1%, then in your overall portfolio, crypto and stocks included, would go from whether it's 7 or 8% to more like 10 to 11% over a span of a decade. And that's with 1% in. And so historically, we know that crypto outperforms. And it's my humble opinion that over the next 10 years, the next decade, even from this point in time, I believe that crypto will substantially outperform any other asset class on the planet. And whatever the second place position ends up being, I don't think it's even going to be close, to be honest with you. So, and for me, I'm willing to be transparent to a degree. I don't want to say how much crypto I hold relative to United States dollars, or even in terms of crypto. Like, I don't want to say how much XRP I hold, for example. I think that people should probably just keep that private for two reasons. Number one, it makes you a target, and number two, you will come off as a douchebag probably if you start talking about how much XRP you have. Unless it truly is a pathetic amount, and then people might feel sorry for you. But it's okay. I guess it could go either way. But regardless here, so for me, I decided to put in a good bit more than what percentage-wise than what most investors would advise. And not that it would always be like that for me, but I just see this as a tremendous opportunity. This bull cycle, I've viewed it like that for years. And so a notable percentage of my entire net worth is in crypto, and that's by design. And I don't know that it will always, I mean, I'm always going to hold crypto, don't get me wrong, but I'm willing to take on more risk right now because I view this as a very special moment in time. And with every subsequent bull run, the opportunity for that multiplier effect in terms of gains, it's going to be reduced. Historically, it has been. And so even though you see substantially higher dollar figures, and you will see that in terms of the multiplier effect, and I've talked about this in other videos, it actually does decrease with every single market cycle as more money comes in. And that's just the nature of things. It shouldn't be terribly surprising. I mean, just think about, for example, with Bitcoin, with its market cap of over $1 trillion versus XRP with its market cap of $25 billion. How much money has to flow in to double, right? And so if you end up having higher lows after every subsequent market cycle, well, okay, so even if you were lucky enough to start at the bottom of the next cycle when you invest, which you won't be, nobody will, like less than 1% of humans will be so fortunate to buy at the actual bottom. But even if you were, I mean, it's a higher low than the previous cycle. And so from there, the multiplier effect, yeah, you can still have substantial gains, and you will, I believe anyway. But since there was less money in the previous market cycle, it takes less flowing in to get that multiplier effect. So with XRP having been the most amazing performer in 2017, and with its peak hitting January 4th, 2018, like, what can we expect this market cycle, seriously? What types of percentage gains, and when is it going to happen? Well, if I had to guess for fun, I mean, I'm not making an actual prediction because I don't pretend to know, but just for fun, in terms of when this would hit, I don't want this to be true, but this will be my guess, and I just hope that it isn't right. I'm going to guess that XRP will peak this cycle after Bitcoin hits its peak. In terms of the percentage gains, I didn't try calculating before recording this video, so I'd just be making something up if I said something, so I'll pass on that one. Maybe I could talk about it for fun in the future, but even just in terms of the multiplier effect, like, gosh, can you imagine XRP not at least hitting its all-time high this market cycle? Like, that would be hard for me to believe. And then not entering a new realm of price discovery, that also would be hard for me to believe, which is why when you see someone like the blockchain backer who has an expectation of XRP hitting anywhere from $10 to $13, that certainly doesn't sound wacky to me. Now, in terms of the percentage gain, that would be nowhere near what it was last market cycle, even without calculating it, I know that. But you're talking about a massive multiplier effect compared to where it is now, just a little over 50 cents. And I tend to think the longer this market cycle lasts, the greater the opportunity may be for levels to be hit that are much higher than what some are expecting. And so I don't know that we should expect this to happen, but there was this article I found interesting that I wanted to share with you in terms of potentially what to expect as far as the length of this market cycle. It comes from the Daily Hodl, titled, "Here's When Bitcoin's Bull Run May Expire, According to One of China's Biggest Crypto Miners." The CEO of one of China's largest Bitcoin mining companies says his firm is using a variety of models to try and pinpoint when Bitcoin's current bull market cycle will end and how high the top cryptocurrency will rise. Which, by the way, again, just to be clear, we'll break in here, this matters tremendously, and you need to be aware of this, especially if you're new, and you just verify it yourself. Don't take my word for it. XRP, along with every altcoin on the planet, does follow the price action of Bitcoin. So if Bitcoin's going to have a longer bull phase here than many are expecting, that's going to impact XRP and every other altcoin. And I would expect it to have a positive impact. That's more time for it to run up, I hope. Unless you think that the longer cycle just means there's going to be longer phases of consolidation, which would just be kind of boring. So I hope not. I guess that's possible. But anyway, so this the CEO here, he asserts that Bitcoin has not nearly reached levels of attention it garnered during the 2017 bull run. According to Google Trends, Bitcoin hit its peak search rate in January of this cycle and was still roughly 40% off its 2017 Google Trend top. And so the BTC.top CEO tells Woo Blockchain that according to both of his Bitcoin bull cycle predictions, the King coin is far from the top. And that is something that I see from, gosh, I can't think of a single analyst that I follow that doesn't think this, frankly, that Bitcoin has a lot more room to grow. Now, in terms of the multiplier effect, it's going to be nowhere, I believe anyway, the multiplier effect is going to be nowhere near as great as large and mid-cap altcoins in particular, because if Bitcoin runs up to $80,000, like, which would be close to the higher end of what blockchain backer thinks, that's less than a twofold increase. XRP, just to get back to its all-time high, you're looking at what, more like, an eightfold increase, just about, maybe a little bit less than that, just to get back to the all-time high. And there are many other altcoins that are in that position as well. But anyway, so the CEO's representative tells CoinDesk, this is the China miner CEO, that the chief executive believes Bitcoin will hit $150,000 to $300,000 during this bull market. And so if that is indeed the case, so if the market cycle takes extra long, man, if this guy's right, I would look, to be honest, I would love this. I'm not completely sold on this. I'm open to the idea of this. Maybe this will come to pass. I don't know. You guys will have to tell me. Like, I'm kind of a little skeptical of it hitting these types of levels this market cycle, but it could. Like, crypto's completely bonkers. And so, and plus, if there really is that much more institutional money coming in, I could see, if there's a substantial amount of that, I could certainly see that pumping up the price for this market cycle higher than it otherwise would have gone, because the retail speculators that trade on spot exchanges, they're the ones that determine the actual market price, and there's less for them to fight over if more of these institutional purchasers come in and publicly traded companies and so on and so forth. And so you can see, here's a tweet from Blue Blockchain who wrote, the CEO, one of China's big miners, told Woo Blockchain that according to the latest multiple model studies, the fastest will be September 2021, and the slowest will be June 2022. Will turn from a bull to a bear market. So the soonest you're going to see this crypto market, according to this individual, change from bull to bear and go negative would be September 2021 this year. So about half a year from now. Or it could go as long as, the bull phase could go as long as June 2022 and then tank into a bear market, which I guess I'd prefer the latter. I mean, unless it's just going to be a bunch of trading sideways, that could be kind of more, I don't know. Because then I'd just be like, all right, just get into the bear crap so I can start purchasing more after I sold as close to the top as possible. That's kind of the way that I'm looking at it. But either way, I firmly believe that XRP is going to be a part of this. And so even if we do have to wait, I mean, I understand what I'm saying here. If what I don't want to be true ends up being true, that XRP is going to top after Bitcoin, and if Bitcoin peaks in June, we may not see the parabolic action until then, if that ends up being the case. But I'm not convinced that is going to be what happens here. There are so many analysts that are saying, hey, expect fireworks much sooner than that. So I'm hoping that ends up being the case. I'm just saying, historically, XRP has lagged behind and just followed Bitcoin, and it's typically among the last to pop. So we shall see. But there's never been an alt season that XRP didn't participate in, right? I mean, it's always taken off in alt season. It's never taken off on its own. So I think it's coming. We'll see here, because to me it just seems super duper clear that the whole market moves together, and that's a core fact for me. Like that is a huge part of why I sleep easy at night. It's because it's like, if you bet on one crypto that's mid or large cap, from my perspective, it's like you're just, it doesn't matter what you're betting on. And not that they're all going to pop off at exactly the same time, but if you zoom out on a chart enough, it's all going to look more or less the same until there's sufficient maturation of the asset class where humans parse out the differences between cryptocurrencies. But we're really not sufficiently seeing that to this point. So until I see different human behavior, I just have this comfort, right or wrong, of just whatever I'm investing, whether it's a mid or large cap coin, whatever it is, that they're all going to perform more or less the same. That is what I believe. So we'll see if that comes to pass. But I'll go ahead and wrap up there. I am not a financial advisor. Do not buy or sell anything because if anything I say or write, that would be a very, very, very bad idea. Until next time, to the moon, Lambo.